So I was feeling a little bit emotional and kind of compulsive and realized that there's a song that's done a lot for me that I don't think that I've totally done justice to in how I've talked about it. So I want to get a little bit personal and share the story of holding on to you and what it means to me. Now, to be honest, there's not too much of a story, but it's still a powerful experience for me. I had a therapist at one point tell me that I probably had like borderline clinical depression, which was scary at first to hear, but it was eventually kind of relieving. It still is kind of a scary thing because whatever it is, like it's still there, right? And we're taking care of it really well, right? And obviously not nearly as bad as what a lot of people have to suffer with and go through. But at the time that this song really hit me hard, I didn't know. And it was just, my brain was doing things it wasn't supposed to. And I'll spare you the details for my own sake and for your sake. But I just was frustrated. And there was like always this sort of like cloudy feeling in the front of my brain that has since gone away. And I didn't understand it. And I was just stressed all the time, and it was like the depression made everything just like harder to cope with. But I would respond by just getting frustrated in situations, which I didn't think was a depressive thing, right? But apparently it turns out that it is. And so, it was really difficult. And I remember just like one night just being so frustrated with some stuff that had happened. There was some conflict. It wasn't great. And I was just I just didn't know what to do. I felt kind of lost. And so I just pulled up some music, and I don't really usually go to music to find that kind of help. I think a lot of you guys probably do that way more than I do. Typically, I'll just kind of sit there in the depressive funk and just want to complain to other people or something, which isn't always healthy. But it's nice to have somebody who listens. April's great. But this time I went to music. And I listened to a couple of songs. Car Radio is my favorite song, but it's not the kind of song that you listen to when you're feeling depressed, right? So I listened to Holding On To You, which is a great 21 Pilots song. And I had never felt like so emotionally in sync with the song. Now, he talks a lot about the suicide stuff in the second verse, and that's not something I've ever really connected to, just because I don't have the experience. Like, I understand what he's saying, but it just wasn't something where I was like, oh, yeah, he gets me, because that's not something I've had to struggle with, thank goodness. But that chorus is what really, really got me. And that is one of the only times that I've ever cried while listening to a song. And they weren't manly tears. They definitely were not. And I thought when I started recording this video that I might cry, but I think I'm kind of like, I don't know, getting too focused on like storytelling to actually cry right now, which I'm kind of thankful for, because I definitely cry at bad times, that's for sure. I just luckily have a camera where I can edit all that stuff. But yeah, there's the chorus in the song. You are surrounding all my surroundings, sounding down the mountain range of my left side brain. You are surrounding all my surroundings, twisting the kaleidoscope behind both of my eyes. And I take this to have a very spiritual, religious meaning. I think he's talking about God, somebody who's surrounding all my surroundings, like has control of the environment I'm in, of my left side brain, twisting the kaleidoscope behind both of my eyes, like inside my head even, and like whatever is going wrong, like why ever I'm so frustrated, like I couldn't even put it into words at that point, but there was something wrong. Like there's somebody out there who can take care of that and lead me through that difficult time. And yeah, it was really affirming, and it was really powerful, and oh gosh, it was, yeah, I'm thinking back. Sorry. I don't know. It wasn't just the song that was powerful, it was what it reminded me of too. And like just the intense amount of comfort it brought in that moment. It was like all this other stuff, I'm taking over my body back in control, no more shoddy. Must have forgot you can't trust me. I'm open a moment and closed when you show it. Like I knew that like I couldn't even trust myself, right? And like he says, something about flesh in here. Yeah, not anymore, flesh out the door. I must have forgot you can't trust me. And it was like, I didn't feel like I could trust myself to make the right decisions. And so I was like setting that aside. And then I was coming to the chorus and saying like, no, there's someone bigger than me. There's someone more powerful, and that's God. And it was just a moment, guys. It was really good. And this song was what helped me to experience that, and so I really appreciate that. I don't know if Tyler Joseph or anybody will ever watch this video, but thank you very much for putting that song together, putting it out there. I mean, the rest of the song's fire too, for sure. But I don't know. I think I would just say that if any of you guys feel frustrated, a couple of things. If any of you just feel like frustrated and you don't know why, be open to the possibility of going and talking to a mental health professional. But if you are struggling with some mental health or depression, anxiety, something like that, music's a great way to self-soothe. It's not a medication, right? You're not self-medicating, but you are self-soothing. And I would recommend this as a really good song that, might help you out in a difficult situation. So there's lots of other ones out there. If there's one that's meant as much to you as this song means to me, I mean, share that down below. And I think that there are people out there who could read those comments and really benefit from that. Maybe even I'll be one of those people. So anyway, I didn't cry. I felt like I was getting kind of close there a couple of times. But I really wanted to share that story with you guys. Yeah, I think so many times I see in the comments, you talk about a story of a song that's helped you, and that's incredible for me to read. And I don't know, I felt like it was my turn. I was working on a podcast for my patrons, and the topic came up of this song, and I just kept thinking about it after the podcast was done, and I was like, I really want to talk about that. So I'm actually going to just turn this camera off and then immediately upload this video file straight to YouTube with no edits or stuff. So yeah, this is just me and you talking. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you're depressed, listen to good music and get help. And I don't know. This is, it's like you get all these emotions, these feelings, and it just, there's like so many things to think about right now. And I'm trying to also think about like, oh, I don't want people to think that I'm weird or emotional or whatever. Not that weird and emotional are the same thing. So I think this is probably just a good place to sign off, and I'll go eat some ice cream while this uploads. All right, see you guys.